It seems like it's time to talk about Rivian and the line cutting situation. I've made some allusions to this in some of the Rivian videos that I've put out so far, that people had managed to cut in line ahead of pre-reservation holders. I've also seen a ton of posts about this on Rivian forums, lots of chatter down there in the comments section below as well. Few things here. Rivian is doing things a little bit differently than a traditional car company. So rather than selling through dealers, they're selling direct, much like Tesla. That means that Rivian, the company, has 100% control over absolutely everything in this process. Now, I should be really specific here. A lot of folks think that I'm specifically calling out Kyle of Out of Spec Motoring. That is absolutely not true, because he's not the only person that cut in line. And let me be very specific. Kyle is not to blame here. I don't blame Kyle 100% at all, because if it were me in that situation, would I have done it? Probably. Why not? Why wouldn't you ask the car company, hey, is there any way I could get my Rivian a little bit earlier? This has nothing to do with Kyle. If I had just driven an R1T at a launch event and I was like, oh my God, this is mind-blowing, I must have one of these things, and I turned to the PR person and said, hey, is there any way I could get mine earlier? I could see myself asking that question. The difference is that Rivian actually did it. And so far, I have never heard of Tesla doing it. Let me know down there if you've heard of such line cutting. Certainly haven't seen Ford or General Motors or anybody else doing it in this way, because dealers are involved with those other car manufacturers. So it's a little bit more difficult to try and get those pre-orders intercepted. Remember that Rivian is in charge of this entire process. The reason I did not mention Kyle or Out of Spec Motoring in my videos, and the reason I'm not going to be mentioning anybody else, I'm only mentioning him because he's the one that there's lots of chatter down there in the comment section about, is because, again, I don't think it's their fault. I think Rivian is the one to blame. And it does give Rivian a bit of a bad image when you've had customers being loyal that have given you a $1,000 deposit and waited 3 to 4 years for their vehicle to see that exact same configuration that they wanted walk out the door with someone that had just basically put an order in or somehow knew someone and got a special deal. Also, there's the pricing issue here. We don't know exactly how much some of these people have paid. Did they get the old pricing? Did they get the new pricing? Who really knows? The only people that would know that would be the people at Rivian. But either way, it definitely smells bad for Rivian. I'd love to know what all of you think about that down there in the comment section below. And yes, this time I will actually be reading the comments down there, I promise. Again, this has nothing to do with any specific person out there that has managed to jump in line, because I would have done it. You probably would have done it. Who would not do it? Who would not try at least to get the new fancy car if they wanted one immediately after driving it? Again, this is Rivian's fault for actually doing it, and that's not something that I've seen outside of Rivian so far. So let me know what you think about all that. Does this give Rivian another black eye, etc.? I have to say, I love the Rivian R1T. This is the only luxury truck in America currently. It also is a fantastic electric truck. It is fantastically efficient. I love all the features and functions. I love the fact that it's very off-road, outdoorsy focused, etc. But the company itself, Rivian, has definitely been going through some trying times as far as press, and this is not adding to that problem. While we're talking about deals and working with car companies, you should all know that my lightning order drama has not gone as smoothly as we would like. Generally speaking, I pre-order vehicles for long-term tests here. I don't deal with the car manufacturers at all in respect to the pre-order. They don't know that I've pre-ordered the vehicle. They don't know that I'm buying the vehicle, etc. But the Lightning has been one enormous exception because of some of the dramas with the dealer and all of the purchase process and the extended times of the Lightning, etc. So at this point in time, Ford absolutely knows that the Lightning is happening, and Ford has been involved in attempting to make sure that there's no added dealer markup, but I'll be talking about that in a separate video. So be sure and sound off down there. Find me over Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those other social places, and of course, you'll find all the Rivian content over at the EV Buyer's Guide channel, link down there in the description. See all of you later.